So you mentioned that this book is really about the plot, and then there's the layers to it about grief and about being constrained as a person by outside forces. What is it about, like, why did you want to explore those themes in a fantasy setting and say not in a contemporary novel?
That's a really good question. Primarily, I think fantasy is a really fascinating way to explore those themes because you're looking at the emotion in its purest form. You don't have the constraint of, thinking about contemporary society and how that interacts. You have such control. So you can examine, oh no, you can examine whatever it is that you want about that experience or about that emotion completely on your terms. So for me, grief, and it's funny because I didn't really realize just how much it was about grief until I came back for the first edit, which was about a year ago, a little bit over a year ago. I was like, oh, that is the key theme running through it. It's not just what would you do if you lost someone, it's grief. And this idea of why, under what circumstances would your grief be so profound that you would, and it's not the back quote, or maybe it is, I think it is the quote on the back cover, which is, I would tear apart the entire world. Why would you forsake everyone and everything? And it, it sort of came to me, well, if that person was your whole world, then why would that happen? Because of this circumstance. So, the rawness and the purity of being grief stricken, I think having a fantasy environment allows you to really create the conditions for that emotion to exist within the character. So I love fantasy because I think it really does explore it, or it can be a vessel to really explore like really fundamental truths about human nature and human behavior.